Hello, my lovely students. A hearty welcome to this mind-blowing platform, Physics Wallah. My name is Nupur Sharma, and today we are going to learn models. Today we are going to master the models. Now, your friend invited you to his birthday party. How are you going to respond? You may say, I will come, I shall come, I may come, I might come, I can come, I could come, I shall come, I should come. The answers can be many. There can be many possibilities that how you are going to answer the question. Now this could, can, would, will, all of these words are models. Today in this class, we are going to clear this confusion that which word is most appropriate to use in this question. Okay, so let's move further. What are we going to do today? Today, first of all, we are going to learn what are models, okay? Why do we use the models? And then we are going to look at the list of models, then models and their usage, okay? Then we are going to learn their usage, and in the end, we are going to discuss a few exercises. Now, what are modals? Modals are auxiliary verbs used to form the tenses, moods, voices, etc. of other verbs. Modals are auxiliary verbs. What are auxiliary verbs? They are helping verbs. And what do? They depend on the tenses, okay? Moods, they tell us the moods, voices, etc. of other verbs, okay? They are helping verbs, okay? They are helping verbs that cannot be used on their own, but to be used along with other main verbs, mainly to express attitudes. See, earlier I told you that there can be multiple answers. You can say, I will come, I shall come, I can come, I could come, I may come, I might come. Now, all of these answers, whatever you are going to say, depends on the attitude. Okay, see, if I say that you can use any of the models, no, that is wrong. That depends on your attitude. That depends on the attitude of the speaker, that which model you have to use. And for that, we must know the usage. Okay, where you have to use a particular model, it changes the whole answer, whole meaning of the answer, okay? Whole meaning of the answer changes with the change of model, and today we are going to learn it. Okay, now they are different from normal verbs. See, models are different from the normal verbs. They are never used alone. We do not use them alone. We use them along with the other verbs. Okay, they are followed by a principal verb. It is necessary, okay? They are followed by a principal verb, and they give us some additional information. They give us some additional information, and they are used to express certainty, possibility, okay? Certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, and ability. Okay, necessity, obligation, certainty, necessity. Okay, they are used to express all these things. They add to the meaning of the sentence. Okay, they tell us the attitude of the speaker. They tell us that whether he is in the mood of coming or not. He is in the mood of answering or not. Okay, is it his necessity? Is it his obligation? Is it his ability? Or is it his certainty? Okay, now we are going to learn it further. So here we see a list of models, okay, the positive ones and the negative ones. We can use the models in the positive expression also and in the negative expression also. The positive ones are used in the affirmative sentences and the negative ones are used in the negative sentences. Will, would, shall, should, may, might, can. And will becomes will not, okay, or won't. Would becomes would not or wouldn't. Shall becomes shall not or shan't. Now this is a word that you haven't read particularly. Okay, we do not come across shan't in, you know, Indian English, but we can use it. We can use shan't. Should, should not or shouldn't. May becomes may not or mayn't. Now mayn't is also something we do not come across in Indian English, but we can use it in the written English and in the spoken English as well. Might, might not, or mightn't, and can, cannot changes into can't. Now, could becomes couldn't, must, must not, mustn't. Have to becomes don't have to. Okay, need, needn't, ought, oughtn't not, or ought not to. Ought not to, dare, dare not, or used, didn't used to. Now, these all are the list of the modals, and we have to learn all the uses of these words so that we do not make mistake while using them. Okay, we often make mistake, but we shouldn't make the mistake, and we will not make the mistake when we will learn their usage. Okay, use of the modal will. The first modal that we come across is will. The first rule for the use of modal will is that it expresses pure future with second and third person as subject. They are used to express pure future. Okay, there are three tenses. Okay, there are three tenses: present, past, and future. We just learned tenses in our last class. Now, when we talk about future, we use will if we have to express pure future with second and third person. I taught you the persons as well. Second person is the one to whom we are speaking, and the third person is a person whom we are talking about. Okay, so we use will with those in case of expressing the pure future. Okay, she will, they will, he will, you will. Okay, the second rule for the use of modal will is that it shows willingness. Okay, if you're willing to do something, I will do this, I will help you. This shows your willingness. Intention. If you have the right intention to do something, okay, if you are intended to learn, help someone, you will say that she will definitely help you. She will definitely help you because you know that her intention is right. Her intention is to help the other person. Promise, in case you make a promise to someone, in that case also you use will. If you are determined, if you have determination, you use will with the first person as a subject, as we know. Only in case to express the pure future, we do not use it with the first person. Okay, but we can use will. Okay, some children are confused. Some children are confused that we cannot use will with the first person. We cannot use will with I and we. We can use in the second case. In this case, when the first person is showing its willingness, intention, promise, or determination. Now, the third and last use of modal will is that it tells about the characteristic, habit, assumption, invitation, or request and insistence. Okay, in case you have to show a habit, assumption, if you assume something, invitation, or request. Obviously, we cannot understand it like that. For these, we need examples. Examples. The Prime Minister will hoist the flag. Now, this is pure future. This is a pure future because this is going to happen in the future. This expresses future. The Prime Minister will hoist the flag. Now, we know that the Prime Minister is the third person. The third person in this case. Okay, so in order to express the third person, we have used will. I will meet you again. Now this is promise. Here you can see we have used will with the first person, but we have used because the first person has made a promise. Okay, that I will meet you again. I will need your help. I will need your help. This shows the willingness or intention of the first person. I will need your help. His intention is to get your help. That is why he is saying, I will need your help. He will achieve his goal. He will achieve his goal. This shows the determination that he is going to do it. He is going to make it. Okay, he is going to make it. He is going to do it. Now, this shows the determination. That is why we have used will. He will be here at any moment. This is the assumption. He will be here at any moment. This shows the assumption. And in last, will you go with me? Will you go with me? This shows a request. This is also a question. This is also a request. Will you go with me? In this case, we have used will to make a request. Okay, let's move further. Uses of modal shall. Okay, shall. As we learnt in the future tense that we use shall with the first person. We use shall with I and we. The first rule for the use of modal shall is that it expresses pure future with the first person, and the first person is I and we. When we use I and we, when I and we are subject, then to express the pure future, shall is used. The second rule for the use of modal shall is that it is used to ask for advice. Okay, when we are advising, we are giving suggestions, requests with the first person in the interrogative. Yes, in the interrogative. Okay, whenever there are questions being asked, interrogative means questions. When the first person is asking for advice, suggestion, request, then in that case we use shall with the first person. Okay, now the third rule for the use of modal shall is that it is used to express command, threat, warning, promise, assurance, determination with the second and third person. Now these two rules are for the first person, and this is the rule for the usage with the second and third person. And I hope that you know what is the difference between first person, second person and third person. If you're clear with first person, second person and third person, you will find it very easy to understand this particular rule. The third rule for the use of modal shall, it is used to express what? Command, threat and warning. Now we are going to learn it through the examples. We shall go to school tomorrow. This expresses the pure future. This expresses the pure future of we. It means the first person. I shall teach you to dance. I shall teach you to dance. This is used to express the future of the first person. Okay, this sentence expresses the future of the first person. Now in the third sentence we can see, shall I bring a glass of fresh juice for you? This is a request. This is a request placed by the first person. The first person is I. Okay, shall I bring a fresh glass of juice for you? This is a request. Shall I close the door? Shall I close the door? He is advising, shall I close the door? Okay. Shall we go to the market tomorrow? Shall we go to the market tomorrow? This is a suggestion that shall we go tomorrow? Maybe he's asking that we should go to the market today. And you're saying, no, shall we go to the market tomorrow? Okay, this can be a suggestion. Now, in all these three sentences, we are using the shall with first person, but in the interrogative form, but in the question form. Okay, in the question form, request, advice and suggestion is being asked by the first person. It can be I, it can be we. Now, sixth, you shall get an award for your achievement. Now, this is promise, this is assurance. You shall get an award. You shall get an award for your achievement. This is something, this sentence is used to assure someone. So in that case also we are using shall. Okay, now this is the case for the second person and the third person as well. You shall go to your room. You shall go to your room. This is a command. This is a command. You shall go to your room. You're commanding someone to go to his room. They shall win the match. This is a determination. This is sheer determination. When we are determined that the third person is going to do something, he is going to achieve something, this is your determination. They shall win the match. They shall fail the match. Okay, both of these can be the determination. Determination when you are sure of the thing. When you're determined that this thing is going to happen, then in that case, you use shall with the third person. Okay? Now, let's move further. Uses of modal should. Where do we use should? The first rule for the use of modal should is that it is used to express duty, obligation, advisability, or desirability. Now, should is used to express duty. Okay, this is your duty. When you use, the sentence is used to express duty or obligation or advisability or desirability. In that case, we use should. The second rule for the use of modal should is that it is used to express logical inference. Okay, when we are trying to show the logic, supposition, assumption, possibility or probability. Okay, we have learned a lot of words. Take care. Possibility, probability, inference, supposition, assumption. We'll not be able to understand it like that. We are going to take the help of the examples. How do we do it? Now, we should go to the school every day. This is your duty. We should go to the school every day. You should go to the school every day. They should go to the school every day. You can use should with all the persons. Okay, you should go to school. They should go to school. I should go to school. We can use should to express the duty of all the three persons. Okay, you should not be late for work. As we can see here, in this case, we have used the duty or the obligation or the desirability for the second person. You should not be late for work. You should exercise more often. This is advisability. You should exercise more often. Okay, now this is an advice that you should do this thing. Okay, you should cut down your calories. Okay, you should cut down on your calories. This is an advice. This is a suggestion that somebody gives you. He should be at the office by now. He should be at the office by now. Now this is to express the possibility, or you can say probability. This sentence also expresses the probability of something happening. Okay, that he should be at the office by now. Okay, so should is used to express all these things. Now let's move further. Uses of modal may. Where do you use may? May. The rule for the use of modal may is that it is used to express possibility. Now, whenever you are expressing possibility, permission, wish, faith, hope, or a purpose. Hope or a purpose, in that case, you express may. Now, may is something that you use, multiple times. You use may many a times. Okay, and where do we use may? It may snow in the evening. This shows the possibility. It may snow in the evening. Okay, there can be a possibility. To express the possibility, we have used may in this sentence. May I go now, sir? May I go now, sir? Now, let's come. Okay, let's discuss something which is very important. Whenever you enter the class, there are two ways of saying it. Can I come in? May I come in? Can I come in? May I come in? Whenever you enter your class and you ask your teacher, ma'am, can I come in the class? And your teacher says, no, you cannot come in my class. Why, ma'am? Why can't I come to your class? You cannot come to my class. Okay, you can come to my class. You have legs. You can come to my class. Okay, but what should you use? You should use may in this sentence because you are formally asking for a permission from your teacher. Can is used in the case of possibility. Okay, can is used in the case of ability. Okay, now we use may in the case of taking a permission. When you have to take a permission, especially formally from a teacher, then in that case you use may. May I come in? Can I come in? Okay, so you must always say may I come in. May I go now, sir? He is asking for a permission from his sir, a formal permission, you might say. Formal permission. May God always be with you. This is the wish, this is faith, this is hope. May God bless you. Now, we often use the sentence, may God bless you. Happy birthday to you. May God bless you. Now we use may to express the hope. This is hope. This is your wish. Okay, this is your faith that may God help you. He is working hard so that he may get an appraisal. This is the purpose. He is working hard so that he may get an appraisal. Okay, now he's working hard because he's expecting to get an appraisal. This is his purpose. To express the purpose, we have used may in this sentence. Okay, now uses of the modal might. What is the difference between may? I may come, I might come. I may come, I might come. The rule for the use of modal might is that it is used to express less possibility. Less possibility. Or in the case you have to express permission or a guess, or you're guessing something, in that case you use might. May and might are often confused. Where to use may, where to use might. Now, let's see with the help of examples. Examples of modal might are given below. It might rain today. It might rain today. The person who is saying this thing, he's not 100% sure of it. Maybe he's 25% sure of it. Okay, maybe he thinks that there is 25% possibility of this happening. There is less possibility or probability of this thing happening. Then in that case you use might. Okay, in that case you use might. Might I go to get the files? This is your permission. This is more formal. It is the more formal way of asking the permission. You do not use might with your parents. You may use it, but you necessarily do not use might with you. Might I go to party with my friends? Okay, might I go to party with my friends? Now, this is not a way of asking permission from your parents, because your parents are informal. Okay, you do not ask them very formally. This is a very formal way of asking. Might I go to get the files? Okay, that might be the new guard. That might be the new guard. Now, this is a guess. When you are guessing, when you are not sure, when you are not sure that it may be the thing, it is the thing, when you're sure about it, in that case you use might. Okay, now let's move further. Uses of modal can. Where do you use can? The rule for the use of modal can is that it is used to express permission, possibility, ability, or capacity. Now you will say that, ma'am, you were saying that we use may with in the case of permission. But now we are seeing that can also be used in the case of permission. But as I told you, that in this case, the permission is asked informally. It is used to take an informal permission. Okay. Now, possibility, ability, or capacity. Can shows the capacity of doing something. Can I go to the market? Okay, this is something that you're asking from your parents or from an informal person, maybe your aunt, maybe your uncle, maybe your husband. Okay, anyone can be the thief. Anyone can be the thief. This is the possibility. Okay, anyone, maybe anyone can be the thief. This is the possibility. He can stay awake for 2 days. He can stay awake for 2 days. Now, this is the ability. This is the capacity. He can speak in 4 languages. He can speak in 4 languages. Now, this is also a capacity. This also expresses the capacity. This also expresses the ability of the person doing something. He can speak in 4 languages. Now, in this case, you use can. Okay. Further, uses of modal could. Where do we use could? The rule for the use modal could is that it is used to express ability or capacity in the past, polite request, or a possibility under circumstances. Under certain circumstances. Okay, you use could with the capacity in the past. Okay, capacity that we have learned, capacity or ability which was in the present. we use can with it, and when it was in the past, we use could with it, and for polite request, we use could, and for a possibility under certain circumstances, we use could. Now, let's learn it through the examples. He could run very fast in his youth. Now, this was his past ability. Past ability. He could do this thing. He cannot do it right now. In the present, he won't be able to do that. It was his ability in the past. In that case, we use could. Could you wait for him? Could you wait for him? This is more of a polite request. This is more of a polite request. Could you wait for him? If we had money, we could have bought a house. Now, this is possibility under certain conditions. Under certain condition. If one condition is fulfilled, only in that case, the other condition will be, done. Okay. First of all, you have to, deal with the first condition. Then only there is a possibility of the other thing happening. If we had money, then only we could have bought a house. Okay. First of all, you need to have money. Then only you will be able to buy a house. Then in that case, we use could. Okay. I hope you've understood the difference between can and could. Okay. Let's move further. Now, the uses of modal must. Where do we use the modal must? The rule for use of modal must is that it is used to express obligation. When you are obliged to do something, when it is your duty to do something, then in that case you use must. When there is a necessity, compulsion, prohibition. Yes, prohibition. Prohibition when the thing, you cannot do that thing. For example, smoking. Smoking is prohibited. So in the case of smoking, always must comes. Emphatic advice, determination, assumption, conclusion, interference, certainty, and strong probability. So in all those cases, we use must. The children must obey their parents. Now this is the duty. Now the children do not have any other option. Yes, this is your duty. This is your duty as a child to respect your parents. You must follow the orders of your boss. Yes, you're obliged to follow the orders of your boss. When you were employed, when you got the job, it was your duty. It became your duty. It became your obligation to follow the orders of your boss. So, here in that case must comes. I must reach work on time. Now this is the necessity. This is necessary that you should reach your work on time, because if you will reach on your work on time, then only you will be able to finish your work on time. So this is a kind of a necessity. He must do as I say. This is compulsion. When there is a compulsion, when it is compulsory to do something, then in that case you use must. Okay, if you remember, in your school diary it was written that you must wear blazers in the winter season. You must wear blazers in the winter season. It was, mandatory for you to do that. Compulsion, mandation, when it is mandatory for you to do something. You must not smoke in public places. Now this is prohibition. When you're prohibited to do something, okay, especially as I told you, whenever the word smoking comes, you must use must with it. You must not go before they come back. Now this is determination. You must not go before they come back. Now comes strong probability. We have learned about probability in may and might. Okay, in might, in the case of might, there is 25% possibility of something happening. But when there is a strong probability or possibility of something happening, then in that case you use must. When you are very much sure that the students must be in their class, in this case the students must be in their class, you are very sure about it, that is why you can use must in this case. He must be 40 years old. This is his assumption. Maybe somebody is assuming on basis of a lot of facts. He is assuming, and he has a strong, he has a strong assumption about it. That is why he is saying he must be 40 years. Okay, he must be 40 years. He must have left by now. This is certainty. He must have left by now. Okay, he is quite certain about it, that he must have left the place. Now, uses of modal have to. Now, have to is something that we use a lot. Have to is used in the case of must. When you use must, you can also use have to. Have to and must are replaceable. They can be used in each other's place. This is used to give advice or recommend something. Examples of modal have to are given below. I have to reach there by 9:30 p.m. In the sentence, in the sense of must, when I have to reach there by 9:30, you can also say I must reach there by 9:30. But actually, when you use have to, you are even more sure that yes, I have to. Okay, this is necessary for me. You have to start working soon. You have to start working soon. This is also an advice, and this is an advice, and this advice is also in the case of must. Must. You must start working soon. You have to start working soon. Now, in the case of need, the main rule for the use of modal need is that when there is an absence of necessity, when the thing is not necessary, when the thing is not compulsory, especially in the negative and interrogative cases, when there is a negative and interrogative case, as you can see, you need not worry about the work. Now, this is a negative sentence. You need not worry about it. It means it is not compulsory. It is not compulsory. When the thing is not compulsory, when it is not an obligation, okay? When it is not an obligation, when it is not a necessity, it is not necessary for you to worry. In that case, we use need. Now, in this case, we can see that we have used it with a negative sentence. Need I talk to her? Now, this is interrogative. Need I talk to her? She is asking, need I talk to her? Is it compulsory for me to talk to her? Is it a necessity to talk to her? That is why in this case we use need when there is an absence of compulsion or necessity. Okay? Uses of modal ought. Where do you use ought? The rule for the use of modal ought is that it is used to express the subject's obligation. When you are talking about obligation or duty, and also it is used to give advice. Now, ought can also be used, must can also be used, and have to can also be used here. I ought to love my parents. I ought to love my parents. I have to love my parents. I must love my parents. This is obligation, this is duty. In the case of obligation and duty, ought to can also come. Okay, but ought to is more, more sought after word. I ought to love my parents. I have to love my parents. It doesn't sound so good. But I ought to love my parents. That sounds more like a duty. We ought not to cheat anyone. We ought not to cheat anyone. Now, this is also your duty, that you must not cheat anyone. You ought not cheat anyone. You ought to practice for more than 2 hours a day if you want to clear the exam. Now, this is an advice. This is an advice. You're advising something. You're advising someone. Okay, you're advising someone that you have to work more than 2 hours, you have to practice more than 2 hours a day, then only you can clear the exam. This is your advice to someone. In that case also, you can use ought to. Now, uses of modal dare. Yes, dare. What is dare? Dare is like warning. Okay, when you necessarily you have to do that thing. The rule for using modal dare is that it is used at places where we need to show courage. Yes, when you have to show courage, then in that case you use dare. How dare you do this? Okay, how dare you do this? How dare you enter my house? Now, you can also say that it is sort of a warning. When you are trying to warn someone, you use dare. How dare you interrupt us? Okay, in the interrogative form. How dare you enter my house? How dare you do this to me? Now, this shows courage, that how did you muster up so much courage to enter my house? How did you muster up the courage to interrupt me? Okay, he is questioning his courage, that how did you do this? I dare not fail in my exams. This is also used in the negative sense. You use it in negative and interrogative sentence. Now, this you have to take care that you use dare in the case of negative and interrogative, like need. Need is also used in the negative and interrogative sentences to show the courage. In this case, we have used dare in the negative and interrogative sense. Now, uses of modal used to. The rule for the usage of modal used to is that it is used to express past habits. I used to do this. I used to do this in the past. Past habits and expresses the existence of something in the past whenever you are talking about the past. Okay? The used to modal is used to express something which was in the past. I used to go swimming every morning. I used to go swimming every morning. Now this is past habit. Okay, this is used to exhibit the past habit. There used to be a door at this place long ago. Existence of something in the past. When something existed in the past and you are talking about that there used to be a door somewhere. Okay, there used to be a door at this place. Okay, there used to be a mansion at this place. Okay, where has been it been lost? Okay, used to. People used to be very polite. People used to be very polite earlier, in the earlier times. In the earlier times, people used to be very polite. Now, this thing is also something which used to be in the past, but it is not there in the present, that people used to be very polite in the earlier times. They used to be very helpful in the earlier times. Okay, now comes the time for exercises. Now we are going to solve a few exercises. Now, I have given you a few fill in the blanks and you have two options and you have to choose one of the correct options, but today I am not going to solve the exercise. You are going to solve the exercises. In the comment section below, you have to write the answers of all these questions. Okay, he knew that he would or must be able to reach school in time. Now, which option is correct? That you have to see. Okay, now I am going to move to every slide. You can pause the video and you can give the answer of each and every question. You dash not enter my house again. You dash not enter my house again. Okay, you also have to put correct number. Okay, first, then you have to answer the first. Okay, then second, then you have to put number second, then you have to answer the second question, then the third question, then the fourth and the fifth. Okay, and so on. I thought he dash be at school. Karan dash speak in two voices. I dash write what you spoke. You dash have told me earlier. Dash I get something to drink, please. I am very thirsty. You also have to mention the condition that why you have answered it. Okay, is it a possibility? Was it an obligation? Was it a prohibition? Why you have used it? That also you have to mention in your answers. Dash use your car, please. You dash go in now and meet the doctor. I dash love to teach these children. I dash eat 11 puris a time when I was young. You dash see the lawyer at once. Dash God protect you from the pain and agony. My mother dash watch TV for 8 hours even now. It dash be cold in the evening, who knows? Now you have 15 fill in the blanks. So there are going to be 15 answers, and in every answer you have to mention in the bracket that why you have used it. Okay, why you have used it, what was the attitude, what was the reason behind answering that question. Okay, now I hope you have understood everything. Okay, thank you for this lovely session. We will meet very soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.